Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into the core ideas from the book Beyond the Smile. We're going to explore this really powerful concept that happiness isn't something you just find by chance, but something you can actually intentionally build for yourself.
So, let's kick things off with this huge question. We're often taught to think of happiness like it's some treasure we have to hunt for. But what if that's all wrong? This book suggests we should see it more like a construction project. And guess what? You're the architect. You're the builder. So, let's get into the blueprint, shall we?
All right, so any good building project has to start with a solid blueprint. For us, that means getting a handle on the actual science of happiness. What are we even talking about when we say we feel happy?
Well, the book breaks it down into two main types. On one hand, you've got hedonic happiness. Think of this as that instant feel-good hit you get from a delicious meal or buying something new. It's great, for sure, but it's often kind of short-lived. Then there's eudaimonic happiness. Now, this is the deeper stuff. It's that feeling of fulfillment you get from living a life with purpose, from growing as a person. And the real secret isn't picking one over the other. It's about building a life that makes room for both.
So what's actually happening in our brains when we feel these things? It's a pretty amazing chemical cocktail, really. The book highlights three big players. You've got dopamine. That's the reward you feel when you crush a goal. Then there's serotonin, which is like your brain's mood stabilizer, keeping things on an even keel. And of course, endorphins, which give you that natural high, that feeling of contentment. The coolest part? Our actions, our choices can literally trigger these chemicals and change our brain for the better.
Okay, so knowing the science is like having the blueprint in hand. But before we can start building, we've got to do a little prep work on the construction site. And that means doing the inner work, rewiring our mindset to build a really strong foundation for happiness.
This quote from the book is everything. It's so true. Look, life is going to throw curveballs. We can't control the traffic. We can't control what other people do. But, and this is a big but, we always get to choose how we respond to it. That's where our true power is, not in trying to control the world out there, but in mastering the world in here.
So how do we actually manage those responses, especially when we're feeling down or angry? The book gives us the super simple but powerful three-step process. First, identify. Don't just sit with the bad feeling. Dig a little and ask yourself, where is this actually coming from? Second, express it. Get it out. Talk to a friend, scribble it all down in a journal, whatever works for you. And third, and this is crucial, accept. Just acknowledge the emotion. Let it be there without beating yourself up for it. This isn't about pretending bad feelings don't exist. It's about dealing with them so they don't get stuck.
One of the most powerful tools we have for this rewiring job is that voice inside our own heads. The book points out how much damage that negative self-talk can do. The trick is to catch yourself when you hear, "I can't do this," and just flip the script. Consciously replace it with, "I can do this. I have the power." It might feel a little silly at first, but trust me, practicing this can literally change your entire perspective on things.
All right, the foundation is poured, our mindset is getting rewired, now it's time for the action plan. This is the really practical part, the external pillars you can start building right now to support a truly happy life.
According to the book, our happiness is built on 5 main things. And check this out. The biggest piece of the pie is our relationships, a full 30%. That's huge. Right behind that is having a sense of purpose in your life. Then you've got gratitude, mindfulness, and physical activity rounding out the list. This gives us a really clear roadmap of where we should be putting our time and energy.
So, let's get real about this. How do you actually build that giant relationships pillar? The book says it's about the small things, like truly listening to someone, not just waiting for your turn to talk, or genuinely telling someone you appreciate them. As for gratitude, you just have to make it a habit. Maybe you keep a little list of things you're thankful for, or you just make an effort to say a real heartfelt thank you to people more often. These are tiny actions, but they have a massive return on investment.
And in the end, the whole message of the book really comes down to this one simple, powerful truth. Happiness isn't some prize you win. It's a choice you make, day after day. It's about realizing that you've already got the tools, you've got the blueprint, and you've got the power to build your own happiness.
So,
I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. We've talked about the science, the mindset, the action plan, the whole shebang. The only question left is, what are you going to do about it? What's the very first tiny little brick you're going to lay down for your own happiness, starting today?